right?
Mhm.
I like to bring up like an interesting case um, in Central Asia. So in that situation, right, Central Asia was part of the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union had, as you know, like a lot of strong policies, like no state religion, Russification of like a lot of different cultures. Russian was the lingua franca. It was pushed to learn Russian over like the native languages, whether they be Kyrgyz or Tajik or Ukrainian or Estonian. Those were sort of pushed out, right? Then you had the collapse. And then you had the independence of all these countries. And now they're doing like, obviously they're trying to like promote their own language, Estonian, Latvian, Ukrainian, whatever, instead of Russian. But I think one of the most interesting cases is Central Asia. So Kyrgyzstan, just because like I focused a lot on this country in like my studies and whatnot. I remember watching a really good Vice documentary on the practice of bride kidnapping in Kyrgyzstan and how it wasn't really prevalent during Soviet times, but ever since the breakup of the Soviet Union, the video that I watched sort of like talked about how the Kyrgyz were looking for a sense of identity and they turned towards from Russian culture and Russian language to sort of their Islamic roots and their nomadic roots. And one of the things was the practice of bride kidnapping, which, from as I understand it, it used to, started off from the day where you'd have like nomadic tribes. And if you wanted, your lover and you couldn't marry her during the normal way, you would sneak into the tribe, steal her on horseback and ride away into the sunset.
Yeah.
And the modern version of that is, at least the the good version of that is essentially like it's just highly ritualized cultural way of popping the question where it's not real kidnapping, it's almost like an act. So like both families are in on it, it's coordinated, it's planned out. You kidnap the bride, and then take her to the wedding, and then it's the responsibility of the families to like convince her to marry the groom, and then it's the job of like the groom's family to go to the bride's family to ask for forgiveness and then to invite them to the wedding. Um, and with that, there are a lot of problems because, you obviously can't have women kidnapped on the streets, even if it is pre-planned. Like police uh,
Yeah.
units have no idea of knowing whether it's real or whether it's just, a thing. So that's sort of what like the documentary touched on. But that's just an interesting way of like once the hegemon in that area was no longer a hegemon, what happened to the countries that were once under the influence of that superpower. And the thing is they towards turn towards uh other aspects to reclaim their identity.